Welcome back to the Ice Talks, where we implement change every day. Hey, Harold S. Reed Jr. here, also known as hrjr, your motivational coach. If you don't know what motivation means, motive plus action equals results, and results equals success. Welcome back to another episode of the Ice Talks. I'm going to jump right into today's podcast. Today's podcast is entitled 2020-60. 2020-60, what does that mean? Well, before I get into that, let me just start by saying I wanted to come up with an easy-to-follow formula for people to make effective changes in their lives. One of the biggest problems as I see it is we now live in a Twitterized society. It's like one of the greatest achievements of the 21st century is that the Twitter character count increased from a maximum of 240 characters to 280 characters. So, wow. You can actually express yourself a little more. Characters, not words, not, letters. This includes spaces. So, I mean, it's like, this bothers me because here's what happened. A few days ago, I was engaged in a debate with somebody online, as I am prone to do from time to time when someone says something stupid. or wants to run the risk of trying to challenge me and call something I said stupid, when it wasn't my intention to be stupid. But when I engage in a verbal debate, or rather, let me rephrase that. When I engage in a written debate, i.e. something on Facebook, Twitter, I don't really do Twitter like that, but Facebook, and there was a time when I would email battle people in certain groups that I belonged to. We would go back and forth in group emails. All right. Listen, if I got to prove a point, if I got to prove my case, I'm not trying to prove that point in that case in 10 characters, 20 words or less. No, I'm going to give you a fully articulated idea or concept to justify and prove my point. Now, once we get to the point where I'll give you a Bible of information, if that's what it comes down to prove my point. And if your only response to that is, I ain't got time to read all that, well, then you concede. I take your lack of willing to actually read the material in order to contest the material as submission to the material. But I digress. I wanted to come up with an easy to follow formula for people and in terms of bettering their lives. And so I came up with 2020-60. So what is 2020-60? The 2020-60 formula is this: 20% aspiration, 20% inspiration, 60% perspiration. I'll say that again. 20% aspiration. In other words, what are your dreams? What are your goals? Ask yourself, map this out. Sit down and dedicate 20% of your time to your aspirations, imagining yourself in a better position. Imagine yourself in better circumstances. Imagine and dreaming and wondering what it's like to be living a better life, right? 20% inspiration. Pray, dig within yourself, meditate, read, do yoga, whatever it is you have to do to find that power and fuel that power and light that furnace inside of you, right? Because again, this isn't official. But my personal take on the word inspiration is in, as in inside, spirit, as in your spirit inside you, and ation, which is a suffix also meaning action, right? So in your spirit, take action. 20% aspiration, aspire, and ation. So you take action in your dreams and your goals. Map it, take action. What I mean by take action in your dreams and your goals, take the action of dreaming. Take the action of setting your goals. All right? Aspire, aspiration. That's where that comes from, right? Inspiration. In your spirit, take action. All right. In your spirit, take action. So if you have to pray, if you have to read other books, if you have to read your Bible, if you have to read your Quran, if you have to do yoga, if you have to meditate, if you have to do the Buddhist chants, the Yam No Reiki, if you have to do all of that stuff, whatever you have to do to find the inspiration you need to further push your aspirations to get you to the point where you have to put in the next 60% perspiration, perspire, the action of perspiring. Now, what do you have to do in order to invoke the action of perspiring? You have to do work. You have to put in the work, period, right? So as long as you take 60% of your time to put in the work, that 60% will encompass and cover your 20% inspiration, your 20% aspiration, right? As 20% aspiration, 20% inspiration plus 60% perspiration will give you 100% reward. Yes. Now, having said that, see, because people, this is something else that pisses me off about people, especially when they see stuff like this on social media, when like little puzzles come up. Everybody wants to come up with these outside the box thinking answers to prove how intelligent they are. Like, ha, you couldn't get me. I found the super secret answer. No, you stupid. Shut up. No, it's just really simple. All right. There's no secret. There's no catch. The only catch is that it's going to take time. See, once again, like I said in the beginning, we live in a Twitterized society. We want instant gratification. We want it right now. We want to have the aspiration, and we want to have the reward without the inspiration or the perspiration, right? The aspiration is the what. The inspiration is the why. The perspiration is the how, right? So how do you get what if you don't know why and you don't do the how? See? So yeah, this all comes around full circle. And so the only catch, if you will, the only fine print, if you will, is that this whole process takes time, depending on what your goal is. Like, if I had the goal to eat some sunflower seeds right now, that goal would be readily available since I have 2 bags sitting in front of me on my desk, one of which I already had, another of which my wife bought me while she was out today. Thank you, baby. Right? If I wanted to achieve the goal of making $100 before the sun comes up, well, you know what? I'll get in my car and I'll get on the Uber hustle. Or I'll go online and I'll reach out to some people and I'll sell some books, right? So, it'll take time. If I say I want to make $100 tonight doing my Uber hustle, guess what? I just can't get in my car and expect that $100 to come to me. No, I got to go out there. I got to drive. I got to take people from point A to point B over the course of a couple hours. And over the course of a couple hours, I'll have that $100. How do I know? I did it last night. All right. But again, my point is going to take a combination of things in order for you to improve your circumstances and better your life and achieve your goals. All right. And again, I want you to take in that formula, the 20-20-60 formula. 20% aspiration, your what? Your goal. What is your end game? What is your end result? So that's your aspiration. 20% inspiration. What's going on inside of you? Why do you want to do this? What makes this so important? Why are you doing this? What benefits are going to come from you doing this? Are those benefits only going to be for yourself? Who else can you help by achieving the goal that you have in mind? What is your driving force for wanting to achieve this goal? And then perspiration, like Nike, who's in a lot of trouble or who's being celebrated, depending on what side of the fence you're on now. But like they say, just do it. All right. And it really it's really just that simple. So this is probably going to be one of the shortest podcasts that I've done because I mean, I really don't want to sit up here and go about repeating myself, but I will do so one last time. The 20-20-60 formula. 20% aspiration, 20% inspiration, 20% perspiration. This is your what, your why, and your how, right? The aspiration is what you want. The inspiration is why you want it. And the perspiration is how you're going to achieve it. Put in the work. Put in the work. Don't worry about when it's going to come true. Don't worry about when it's going to come to pass. It will come to pass when it comes to pass, as long as you're putting forth the effort. My number one cardinal rule: you could have, do, become anything in this world, providing you're willing to put forth the effort required in order to achieve it. It will come to you. And as a matter of fact, the way I look at it, the harder you work towards your goals, the harder your goals will work towards coming to you. But if you stop, they stop. Your goals stop. If you stop working towards your goals are like, well, if you don't feel that I'm important enough for you to work your way here, I don't think you're important enough for me to go over there. So I'm going to stay right here. Somebody else will want me and somebody else will come get me and I'll work my way to them. That is how your goals and dreams and aspirations work. If you don't believe me, give up on yourself and see how fast your goals get to you. If you don't believe me, don't give up on your goals and see how fast you'll go. Either way, I'm going to make you a believer. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. But I'm also going to remind you that we are still looking to build our following base so that we can put this podcast on iHeartRadio and send it to them for their consideration. So make sure you share this podcast with your friends and send them to the Spreaker format, even though we're on this is on iTunes and Google Play and all this other stuff, and Anchor and a couple other platforms. But Spreaker is where we have to go in order to build up our following base and submit it to iHeartRadio. So make sure you like this podcast. Make sure you share this podcast and encourage your friends and family and whoever else to follow the Ice Talks. Take care. Enjoy your week. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Ice Talks, where we implement change every day.